All right, welcome everybody. This is session 4 of our 16 session information exchange virtual conference. So welcome back for those who've hung with us all day today, and welcome in the new people who are joining us for the first session of their information exchange experience. This is a very different session from what you've seen so far. This one's going to be pretty specific. We're going to have a deep dive demo led by our girl Letty over there. And we're going to get into the everything and anything Mail.dat. So that's what we're covering today. I'm going to I'll have everybody else introduce themselves. I'll go around. Letty, do you want to introduce yourself? And then we'll go to Rob and Mary.
Hi, yes, good afternoon. So my name is Letty Gonzalez. I work in our professional services department with all of the window book products. So I'm here to answer any questions, and thank you for joining.
Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, I'm Rob Dory. I just noticed it's got professional services specialist, but I'm actually the product manager for all of the window book or post presort products.
And then Mary.
Hi, Mary Bush here, BCC customer support. I probably know a lot of you on this call and look forward to working with you in the future. Thanks.
I was going to say, everybody who's attending, you probably have spoken to Mary at one time or another. So it's cool to have her on with us. It's cool to have her on camera. Everybody can see her in person.
Yay!
Yay! All righty. So just to recap, for logistical stuff, everybody who is an attendee is muted and your camera is off, so no worries there. And our chat and our Q&A is open throughout the whole presentation, so please use it if you have specific questions that you need answered regarding DAT-MAIL or Mail.dat files, etc. If there's specific questions you might have about something that's shown on screen, we're going to be watching the chat, and I will help moderate those questions at specific times. We've got some really good technical people here, so please ask your critical questions and let's challenge them a little bit. All right, before we get into the meat and potatoes, I'm going to launch a poll. I know some people have had some issues with the poll, so I'm also going to put the question in chat and have people also submit their answers in chat as well while the poll is running. I'm going to launch the poll. Now, the question that we're asking people is, how easy is it today for your team to manage Mail.dat files, corrections, and eDoc submissions? So I'm going to also post this in chat, and I would love it if you guys could put in, you can either score it on 1 to 5, or you can follow the poll response there, which is from effortless to very difficult. We're trying to gauge the room. We want to see exactly what people's challenges are and where they run into some bottlenecks with regard to their workflows. Okay, we got about 23 responses so far, 26. We'll give it another 30 seconds or so for people to put in their responses, or just drop them in chat. You can rate it on a 1 to 5 if you want. 1 being effortless and 5 being very difficult. It looks like most people are saying Mail.dat's about what they expected. About half of people so far are saying it's about what they thought it was going to be. About 25%, 24% now says it's mostly straightforward. And about 17% said difficult or very difficult. So those are our core people today. Those are our core people today. All right. Let's keep going. So Rob, I know you're going to take it away. Give us a little overview of what to expect for the day.
So we're going to go over quite a bit of things with DAT-MAIL. Why Mail.dats are hard, the AWAM in our actual demo, the ease of editing. That will also include some automation pieces, the ease of use for eDocs, the USPS updates that our software does, compliance, which is always a big challenge, especially for people just getting into full service or seamless or induction. And then the end result, the overall payoff of getting things simple, effortless, as best as you can. So the reputation, more of the Mail.dat. I don't know if you guys have actually seen what the Mail.dat spec looks like. It is a giant bag of worms. Every little piece of the Mail.dat connecting from one to another, and they're all linked. And if you update one, you got to update the other piece. It's a giant, giant pain, essentially. So within that, we just try to make it easier. And the fix is that DAT-MAIL gives you tools, and we do have a lot of new things coming over the rest of the year to make fixing it, modifying it, changing it, finding issues simpler, easier, and then also expand the current stuff that it does. When Letty does her demo, we're going to talk quite a bit about an Advanced Navigator, as that is the main control screen that you can make 99% of your changes right from that screen there. And that also gets the most newest functionality. And then just going to show how to simplify, centralize, and streamline with the current offerings in DAT-MAIL. And maybe if we have time, we'll talk a little bit about future things if you weren't on the first session this morning where Adam talked about it. So the Mail.dat, the whole thing, it's complex. It's what, 11, but I think it's up to 16 files now that are all relational to each other. It is not fun to play with. I mean, I've been doing this for 21 years and I still have problems with it. And the few people that we have that know Mail.dat back and forth on the development side, they still have problems with it. It's not a fun spec. And don't get me to talk about Mail XML because that's even worse. Our main goal with DAT-MAIL and the way that we're moving, we really want to make things simple. And we do have a lot of open things out there that we are working on or have been working on or planning to work on to bring it into a very unified system that just makes it simple, not a lot of clicks, everything right at your fingertips within the screens. So that's where today's session, we're going to show you what we have. And then if we have some time, some of the future things. But by the end of this, I really want everybody to see that we can do a lot and there's a lot of things coming. And also, I know quite a few of you in the past from the list I was looking at have put in requests and different things and, hey, can it do this or that, or this is kind of cumbersome. We are listening on that, and there'd be quite a few amazing things coming by the end of the year. So essentially AWAM, I'm sorry, not AWAM. I don't know why I got AWAM in my head. Advanced Nav, but AWAM is a very, very important piece. I guess it would fall into Command Center for the whole job because Advanced Nav lets you see everything, see your MPAs, your segments, how many pallets, pieces, if there's spoilage pending, if you released any statements. It's the main navigation where AWAM allows you to take that navigation and kind of set it on the shelf and automate as much as you want for importing jobs, processing jobs, tags, flags, reports, some updates and changes, and then maybe automatic upload to Postal One or to tracking providers. It's all dependent. DAT-MAIL is kind of, it does have a clear picture of what it does, and we are making it clear as we go along. So I want everything to be faster, more efficient, and just like all of you, and no matter if you used it before or you haven't, making things simpler. Next one. We do have, you're probably never going to hear me admit this again. And I think we talked a little bit about it in our in-person session 2 years ago. And we have made big strides on user-friendly and editing. We do have some more work to do. We're not completely finished. I want it to be easy because we did recently retire post presort, which was the Monticello for all of us older folks that have been in the business for a long time. Still today, the best program ever, but DAT-MAIL is now going to be the best program because we're taking a lot of that functionality. We have been, and there's still some more to bring it from the post presort side into DAT-MAIL, which was already truly powerful, to make it even more powerful. All the editing will be the same. The screens are, of course, going to be different. DAT-MAIL, and here's another thing you're never going to hear me repeat, but DAT-MAIL has a lot of safeguards and guardrails in place. I mean, it has tremendous amounts because people make mistakes. Back when I used to mail, yeah, I'd make at least 1-2 mistakes, and they're doozies. Accidentally put something up wrong with your by-4s or your permits, or accidentally take postage out of the wrong permit because you put the zip +4 in wrong. There is guardrails and things in place to prevent that to the best of its capabilities. But at times it can be a hindrance, especially coming from the post presort world. So there is some future things coming to kind of disable some of those guardrails for the older customer base. Next slide. So a big piece, DAT-MAIL, not so much DAT-MAIL, but it has a relationship because all of our products between DAT-MAIL, the Postal Web suite of applications, which consists of Postal Web Desktop Dashboard, Postal Web Connector, the Postal Web Statements, By4 Validate, they all connect and work together. They can operate independently, but they add on to DAT-MAIL to just make things simple. Like in DAT-MAIL, you go and set your postage payment dates, any of the other stuff in the MPA, export it out to Postal One, where the other applications automatically pick it up, upload it, tell you if there's any errors and issues. And then based on if your sign up for the service, bring you down your UPD statements, your confirmation, FINs, different things that a body has to go log into the BCG and find it. And what we find is, so there's so many mailers out there that one master statement could have 1,000 child statements, one for each mail owner, especially in the commingle world. You don't want to go spend 3 hours downloading 1,000 individual statements. So that's where the tools build on and make everything, not just besides statements, but getting the register, the 3607 simple in just a few clicks, or actually no clicks because you've automated it. It's a great thing. So Letty is, yeah, Letty, I love Letty, and Mary. I didn't forget about you, Mary.
Thanks, Rob.
I've known Mary since I was 5, 6, maybe, quite a long time. Mary or Letty is going to go through an actual demo for all the things that I just talked about, because we could talk about them, and it's really nothing unless you actually get to see what we're talking about. Especially for any of you, which there's quite a few names on here that I'm not too familiar with if you've actually seen DAT-MAIL, but I'm more of a visual learner, and I think lots of others are. So here's Letty for a actual demo of all the stuff I just told you about.
Thank you, Rob. So yes, good afternoon, everyone. And as we mentioned there, we're going to just kind of take a deep dive into DAT-MAIL. We're going to start off with our Advanced Navigator view. So this is that view in which Rob mentioned, where we really do provide easy access to all of the different records within your file. We give you quite a bit of information. Across the top here, you'll be able to see just the information on your job itself. You know, what is my job number, my job name, what type of mailing am I doing? You know, is this standard or first class? Including letting you know what your piece count is for the job and if anything has been mailed or spoiled. We keep tabs on that for you. So you can see that across the top here in that greenish color. Some of the other options and features, you know, just things that we have placed in here to make life a little easier is, you know, being able to change dates. I think that's one of the huge ones I hear a lot from people. It can be very complicated. It could just be a lot of work having to go into the different records and change and update dates, different MPAs, MPUs, things like that. So what they did here is we just give you a quick, if you're only changing the mailing date, we have a quick little calendar. You just click on it, click today's date and save. Very, very simple. If you need to actually get into the CSM record and make more of those changes, again, we just want to tag, hit change, and here's the other fields for us to be able to update those. So all of that is right at just a click of the hand. It's very, very simple and easy. One of the other things that a lot of people talk about is being able to update your weights. So again, you just click the icon, select a specific, possibly like an MPU record that you need to update. When you hit change, it opens the field. So very easy and quick, you process your changes, and now that has been changed across your job. So you don't really have to go into the different records to do it. It's just one central location. This is where you go in. And the beauty of it is to, when you're in the Advanced Navigator, you can click to go into all of the other records. When you close out of that field or that record that you're in and you make those changes, it brings you right back to the Advanced Navigator. It doesn't kick you out of the job. You don't have to go back and launch it or anything. It's going to be right here. Here we have our by for section. So it does give you information on your job. It's so that you know what mid and, mail owner, mail preparer mid you're using. This particular one has various in there, but if I needed to look at anything specific, I can just click on that record and it will open up and allow me to be able to view what my permit is, what my MPA, MPU, all of that information, the mid and the crit, I'm sorry, and then that MPA record. And then see here, we have a technical difficulty. I apologize. It looks like it froze. See if I can close out of it. Ooh, I
What
cannot.
happens on live TV?
Yep.
Well, no, I was just looking. She's on the bug version.
It's not letting me get out.
Yeah, 31 was the bug version because Constantine's in the middle of adding those sort features to this.
There it
I
goes.
forgot to tell
No,
you.
I think you see that it's just a system, like it's
Yeah.
something. Let me go back in there. I apologize. Yeah, it was working fine, and I don't know why it did that.
Because
There we
it's
go.
live TV.
Okay, because it's
Mm.
live. Okay, so as I mentioned, you go into the MPA. We should be able to click change. Are you not going to let me? There it is. And we can change permit numbers, mids, crids. Of course, if you have to add reference IDs, account numbers, all of that can be easily changed and updated. So that's what I wanted to show you. One of the other things that can be a little bit difficult is when a client has a job that has stamped or metered mailing, and trying to make sure that the permit information is correct and all of that. We have a quick way to get to it. If we click here, it'll show you that particular one that you want to review. And I can at that point say, okay, this is a metered, this is stamped. I need to make sure I select the right method that I'm going to be using. But not only that, I want to make sure the permit's correct, and I can type in my pre-denominated amount if by any reason we didn't have that from presort. So you can easily fix that. It'll tell you what your balance paid for is going to, what you're going to be used to pay for that balance, the permit that you'll be using. And then from there, you'll be able to, save it, and it'll be in that file correctly for you now. The other options that we have here is the ability to add a promo, an incentive through the CCR record. This particular one already has the informed delivery campaign. So if I needed to add another one, what I would do is just come to the insert button. I would select that particular ID, the component ID, and then I can move and be able to see, okay, what incentive do I want to use? If there's another any of those that the post office has given us, if this one has a certain content. What it does provide is the actual date, like it will tell you when it runs. So this incentive might run from January to July, depending on the time that it runs. It'll give you that information. It'll also tell you what you might need as far as like if let me go over here. Let me show this one add on here. If we wanted to add, there we go. That's what I was trying to do. If we wanted to add like the sustainability or informed delivery, it'll tell you here what type of character it is. It'll tell you the discount and the classes and categories that do qualify. So all of that can easily be added. And then once you add it, it will be here in the CCR record, and you'll be able to see it, see that it has an actual promo. I didn't do a promo, but if you needed to add one, it would show there. These others are a little bit more just informational, so you can easily take a look at things such as like your coding dates. So it will give you that information, and it will tell you the eDoc sender grid that you're using. Another one that's very important is just trying to know what's in my file. Do I have pallets or not? That's a big one that customers are always asking. How do I know if I have pallets? If it was palletized or it needs to be palletized. So that you can see here. The other would be if you're using e-induction, what is my pallet count? That you can see that there too. Now, some of the other modules and such that you can use with the DAT-MAIL would be the Planalyzer. And the Planalyzer will allow you to set up freight tables. So this is great for freight planning and being able to take a specific, say for your logistic company, you'll go ahead and say, okay, I'm going to use their freight table, and I'm just going to follow the specific locations, the facilities that I'm able to go to. And that helps you plan your mail in accordance to where the trucks would be going to. And you can also add the palletization module, which will allow you to set up templates and just different types of ways to palletize. We put in those requirements, and you can go ahead and select any of your loose trays, and it will palletize those for you. Now, we do assign the container barcodes through DAT-MAIL. So you can, of course, we register your piece barcodes. We would not change anything like that. But if you're using our palletization module, yes, you will get a unique ID, because DAT-MAIL will be the one that's going to keep tabs on those uniqueness for those containers. Now, another option that we have, of course, through this is at any point you can print out your flags, your tags. There is a lot of reports. There's quite a bit of reports. I can kind of show you quickly here. We have a lot of mailing reports, production reports, transportation reports. We have CSV exports. which you can come in and just select a specific one based on maybe entry point or something with your freight plan or pallet production. And it will give you that information, but it will be in an Excel sheet. So that's a great way for people to kind of tally up information or make modifications that you would not be able to do through a PDF. So that is available. Now, further down here, we do have a couple of buttons, and these will give you quick access to some other items, such as being able to go into other of Mail.dat files. Like in the CSM record, we would be able to come in here, and if we wanted to possibly create siblings, we can do that. If we needed to delete something and say, okay, this tray is not going, I'm going to delete that, you can do that. You can also come in through your PDR or PBC, and you can mark spoilage. So we do have the option of being able to do that. And there's actually a couple of them. You can select one and hit change, and then you can see here what the options are. You can say that, okay, that piece was produced, but it was spoiled, or maybe it's a shortage, right? Sometimes we don't produce them at all. It could have been wasted, and we just don't want any postage to be adjusted, or shortage with no postage adjustments. And we do have some other options within the program settings where we can say how we'd like this to be treated once your statement is being generated. We also have a quick way to just mark a piece as spoiled. And then we have another option that allows you to create a file and be able to place those records into an actual file. We'll import that file for this job, and it'll mark them that way. And then our other option, which is, it seems to be one of the, I think, more simpler, is how I think is if ahead of time we can create a text file. We have our spoilage module that allows you to just drop those into a hot folder. The scheduler will be running, and then as you're processing your jobs, if any of those piece barcodes are in this particular job, it will check right before it creates your statement and mark those for you. So it's just a much faster automated way to do that. So under our other views, we do have a way for you to go into your qualification view. You can again go into that mail schedule view so that you can modify those dates in the CSM record. But I do want to show you in our transportation view. Again, just regarding e-induction, you can easily set or remove something for e-induction, and we also have it in our program settings. So if that helps, you can just keep it that way. But we do have a lot of clients who at sometimes will have jobs that it's not needed. So we want to make sure that you have a way to easily remove that. One of the other modules that I just want to kind of bring it up to you, as Rob mentioned, we have quite a bit of things, is our Priority Mail Open Distribute. So you can it's an add-on, it's our PMOD module, which allows you to take any of your shipments that need to go Priority Mail Open and Distribute. You can use the Mail.dat file that you have here to create a quote and be able to get a price, and then even take it all the way to purchasing a label and being able to get that out the door and give it to the clerk, to be taken with Priority Mail Open Distribute. So that feature is available. It would just be an add-on, but you can definitely ask any one of us about that, and we can give you a more detailed demo. Now, again, here we have some shortcuts for some of those reports. So the enhanced qual report is available. We do also have the rate summary. So the rate summary is really great because it gives you the details for your job, as far as what am I paying, as far as postage, what am I doing, and my total. So that one is used quite a bit, as well as a quick statement. So let me go into the quick statement here. And what it does is allow us to go ahead and say, okay, I want to know what my cost will be. And all we're going to do is click OK. I'll have that run. And of course, I am having it is getting stuck. Sorry about that. I don't know why this is not working. But we do have quick statements available. It's a quick way for you to be able to get a statement without having to mark your job ready to pay. And maybe Rob, after this, if yours is working, you can do a quick statement for me. So then once you bring in your job, we try and make this as simple as possible. You import the file, you can come into the different places, such as changing the date, your weight, or any of these other options that you might need to modify. And then from there, if you're ready, you can go ahead and get this Mail.dat file or this job and mark it ready to pay and be able to be exported. So here, this one was marked ready to pay. I went ahead and I processed it. So, and it's just a matter of tagging them and doing my release. Once I do that, it does get exported and it will be available in that Postal One folder. Whether you're using our Postal Web Suite or not, you can manually, of course, at that point, take it up through the MDR client to Postal One. Or I'd like to show you here. This is our Postal Web Connector. So it does run as a service, and that is one of the ones that Rob had mentioned. We do set this up to work with your prod or pre-prod or temp configuration, and it works behind the scenes. It picks up the jobs and it automatically uploads them to Postal One for you. So through our mini dashboard, which would be our Postal Web desktop dashboard, you're able to view your jobs in real time. All of the ones I have here, of course, are me trying to break it, but you're able to see that job getting uploaded. And then I wanted to show you here, one of the options we have is our quick fix option. So this is designed that if I have a validation failure, and it's not because that job has already been submitted with that particular job ID. Maybe there's something valid, like here, my MPA account number is not active. I chose something incorrect, or even something simple as changing my eDoc sender grid. If I do see that these in these colors here, then it does allow me to do what's called the quick fix. So at that point, it's going to open up and let you know where the errors are. As we can see here, my errors are in my MPA. It looks I might have another with my CQT. So I'm going to take a look at, like my CSM and that's in here. So I would be able to see the red X's, and that tells me this is one of the places where I need to make a correction. At that point, I'll take a look at my field code. That's going to tell me what field I have to change. And then, of course, I want to take a look at what the error says. So if I were to go to 1103, right, it says here that it's an invalid permit number, and the combination that I used was not necessarily an active or associated permit. So then I would really want to take a look at and say, okay, I have this permit with this zip code, and the zip +4 that I'm using, you know what, it's because I did a typo and that's not the right one. So at that point, I can fix that permit number. And then, of course, if there's other fields in a different record, like the CSM, I would jump there, take a look at the ones I have to that I have to fix there. Once I have all of the different ones saved and corrected, then I would do a save and resubmit. At that point, it's going to go ahead and take this file with the updated information, and it will go ahead and upload it to Postal One more time. And it will, at that point, hopefully you don't have any other validation errors that we didn't catch, and it will follow all the way through until it turns blue, meaning that it was accepted. And you can see here we have a little legend kind of showing you what all of the colors are all the way till we go and are successfully uploaded for a job. Now, those of you that are going to be live, not like mine, that's in 10, you will also be able to get your postage statement ID. And then part of the desktop dashboard and part of the connector with our suite, as Rob mentioned, we do give you the ability to be able to collect all of your eDocs. We will send them to you via PDF. We can also have you use our statement viewer, which allows you to auto print some of those documents very quickly to one of the printers on your network. And it's just a matter of being able to turn that one on and selecting the printer that you're going to be using, and then it will allow you to automatically print. As soon as those documents are available through Postal One, you'll be able to see them come through. And it's just like I said here, we just kind of turn it on and select the printer. I don't have anything live, but yes.
I'll share real quick and I can show it.
Okay. Go ahead.
One thing I want to throw in here, since these are add-on modules, they all integrate to DAT-MAIL. So it doesn't matter if you just have Postal Web Connector or DAT-MAIL. They all talk and work together. So as the other modules run, the Advanced Navigator screen will update and actually tell you, hey, I've uploaded this much. Hey, this much is finalized, the percentage that's paid. But it also pushes you over your PDFs in DAT-MAIL, the status events on if it was canceled, reversed, finalized, and whatnot. So all the systems interlink to make it ease of use, make it automation friendly. So this is that piece I talked about a little bit ago, and what Letty was just talking about, where part of this, which also feeds into DAT-MAIL to make all the information in one place, you can get UPD statements, and I don't ever finalize, so I only have UPD entries. But you can get a register. A lot of people like this to make sure that the very last line of the postage matches. The almighty confirmation page, which lots of people still use, which is a great little tool to get some numbers to make sure things match out. And then this job I happened to run was a master child. So I have a whole bunch, I think like 100 individual childs on top of this master. But these all come back, and these are UPDs. And then when the job finalizes, you will get the finalized statements. And these all save to a folder that a lot of companies move towards account managers or sales. The CSR never has to give them anymore. They just go to a folder that has everything in here based on different naming conventions you have, and makes it simple.
Rob. Yes. So as we discussed, DAT-MAIL is not only, there to be able to help you review all of the different selections in your file and be able to make those updates, but we also try and automate everything. So through the use of those additional modules, including AWAM, which is our automated feature to be able to import and mention, like Rob mentioned, possibly doing some of those additional steps very easily and having it do it for you so that you can kind of skip that part. So, all right, thank you very much. And I'm going to pass it on to Mary.
Or Brandon, who's ever going to share their screen?
That will be me. I'm going to share for you, Mary.
Brandon, thank you. I need all the help I can get.
You're most welcome. Take it away for us, Mary.
So I get the easy part. I get to do the summary, and I thank Letty and Rob for doing all the hard work. So what Letty showed you and talked about is all the individual pieces. And DAT-MAIL does have a lot of automation, being able to update those USPS files automatically within the scheduler, making sure that our team does all the hard work to make sure that the software is compliant, as with all the BCC software. being able to reclaim your time, all that automation. What we showed you was pieces of it at a time. But when you put all those pieces together, it really does make up an entire solution. Brandon, if you could go to the next one for me, please. The compliance. So again, being able to import that Mail.dat file from the navigator screen, being able to see that a permit, a MID, a CRID, the company itself is wrong, and being able to make all of those last minute changes and edits on the fly before you submit it to the gateway, just to find out that it's wrong. And then you have to go through reversals and all of those other steps. It's crazy. So the navigator is perfect for that. Letty had mentioned, though, that we do have AWAM. We're all about acronyms, Advanced Workflow Automation Manager. And I will admit that I did cheat, and I saw that some of you on this session do have the full automation set up, where it truly does become take a Mail.dat, drop it into a hot folder, let AWAM pick it up, make changes, edits, import it, log barcodes. We have so many of our clients that drop a Mail.dat file into a hot folder, and it does all the steps all the way up to submitting it to the gateway, all without anyone having to touch it. Like Letty, talking with people, right? You find that someone is touching a piece of paper up to 5 times. So you have to go out to the gateway. You have to find the job. You have to pull the job down. You have to file, save as, print, hand it off. All of that happens for you. And it's all pretty seamless. And we're ready for the next one.
It's our summary slide, Mary.
I know. I guess I just went ahead there, guys.
You
Sorry.
did.
Well,
you did.
So Mary, because I didn't know how long all this was going to take, because I was planning if we got wrapped up pretty quick, which looks like we have we still have some time left. I was going to give a little AWAM overview if either before or after this slide.
Perfect.
So,
yeah, so those of you that don't have the full solution, when Rob shows you AWAM, and I tell everyone that the explanation is a lot more difficult than the actual process because it truly does work flawlessly. And it's knowing where all of those manual touch points are that your team is doing and letting AWAM make those manual touch points for you. You can have multiple profiles. As I had mentioned, the connector, the desktop dashboard, it truly does become a solution instead of individual products.
Rob, do you want us to, we have a few minutes before we can we'll open for QA, and we have a couple of questions here, one from Tom and one from Claudia.
sure.
Do you want to show the AWAM a little bit?
Yeah, it's only going to be a minute. I just wanted to show a couple little nifty things real quick. Come on, mousey. So let me close this. So AWAM, well, it's resyncing. Give it a sec. So AWAM is, think of it an automation engine. So like our presort products, they've got a lot of automation in the background. Why I don't know why I don't remember the name. I'll remember it in a minute. But it operates a lot like the presort products for their automation. It keeps track of all the jobs you import, different settings, when and whatnot. But AWAM allows you, and it depends on your workflow. I'm going to give you a good example for quite a few customers, and I use this a lot. Back in the day when I'd mail, we'd have daily, weekly, monthly jobs come in. Always the same. The Mail.dats were never correct. So you'd build a profile to a folder, maybe called AAA, because it was a AAA job, daily. And within that profile, you would set everything that is ever wrong in the file. Because you know how presort likes to not put the correct mids in, or crids, or permits, or not, and profit numbers, or even the zip, or they put the zip plus, or they put the permit but no zip. Within here, you build everything and anything you want. The biggest feature all of everybody uses is mass updates, where you can build one just for this particular customer or whoever you want, or you could reuse them. These are all the individual files. If you remember in the beginning where I said the Mail.dat spec, the Mail.dat itself is huge and it's complicated. But we show you the name and then the header number for us older folks that know what these actually all relate to. But you can come in here and build out anything and everything to make ease of use simple. So when you drop it in and then you're ready to mail the job, you go to Advanced Navigator, open it up. All the little fixes, the tedious things, the whole process could essentially be done in AWAM, and you can make it as detailed or as simplified as you want. You can add all the mail owner grids, mids, everything in here. Like it's off a little bit, but we just had that change for rate case where they got rid of L1, L3, L4. Within DAT-MAIL, or especially within AWAM and mass update profiles, I made a simple
L7.
little, yeah, I made a little simple thing here where if it sees L1, it changes to H. And it's just something simple and easy to do anything, stuff, manual functions. You can all automate it. But outside of mass update, you can do palletization, you can do logging, choose if we import the barcodes that are already in it for trays and pallets, make new. Everybody loves their reports. I didn't mention it when Letty was mentioning it, but there's 322 DAT-MAIL reports between different options because we love the different display on, sort bys, filter by. But you can have this whole process run in here, and then all essentially you have to do is make sure you've got the mail date set right, which this can actually do right here. And that's where the daily, weekly, monthly, because it comes in on a Monday, you mail it Tuesday, you could automatically have this change it to today +1. So it automatically sets the date. And then you could even use the automated upload functions down here. You could tell it to automatically export. I want it to go to USPS prod. I'm going to have it use the historical. And as soon as it's done running, out it goes. But AWAM is a beautiful add-on to automation that ties in with DAT-MAIL and the other products, and especially Advanced Navigator to tie everything together and to really make it simplified and just runs with not having to remember, oh, how do I do that?
And Rob, that you can have multiple hot folders, right?
Yep.
Because you might do something for ABC widget that you don't do for any other company. So it's really specialized
Our biggest
per client.
Our biggest user I saw had around 2,000 AWAM import folders for every single one for every single customer, plus lots of special ones, but they never touch anything because they just new customer comes in, they set it up, and they never have to touch it again, which is great.
Wow, that's really cool. Okay, so we have two questions. Anyone else, please? We've got a chunk of people still with us. So if you have questions, please enter them in chat or in the Q&A. First question was from Claudia. I used to be able to split pallets to mail partials, but I can't do that anymore. She also made a note about spoiled pieces. I think, Letty, you talked a little bit about spoiled pieces in your demo. And Claudia was specifically asking about splitting pallets to mail partials and not being able to do spoiled pieces anymore. Do you understand her question, or would you like me to request she elaborate a little bit more? If Claudia is still with us?
Yes, if she can give us a little bit more information.
Claudia, can you do us a favor and drop your specific scenario in chat here so we can answer that question for you? And then Tom, while Claudia is putting that in for us, Tom is asking, would DAT-MAIL still require manual updating when required, like Mail.dat from Postal One?
If you're thinking about what I'm thinking, you are. DAT-MAIL gets up, like we just had one. Actually, we had a couple. But every time there is a Postal One change, so usually July, January, then sometimes there's special ones. DAT-MAIL, always, I'm going to say like 50-50. It needs an update to continue running for new things, especially if there's a rate change. But if you don't use DAT-MAIL's like postage statement functionality, then theoretically you didn't need to install the update. But if there's spec changes, which happen every year and sometimes multiple times a year, DAT-MAIL would need a update to support new regulations and changes from the Postal Service. But to add to that, the label list, mail direction files, zone chart, DAT-MAIL will automatically update those when new ones are out. So you never have to mess with that.
Tom, does that answer your question the way you were anticipating? Claudia elaborated on her question. When I have a pallet of 3,000 pieces, but I'm only able to send 2,500 today and the rest tomorrow, I was able to use the palletize option to split the pieces. I'm not able to do that since an update about a year ago, and support's not been able to help me. Any thoughts?
So Letty, would that be removing tray? Probably what, removing trays from a pallet and then building a new one, or Mary?
Exactly.
Right.
Or there's the feature in there where you can actually split the pallet. And
Oh,
move them.
bundles.
Right. That's going to make a difference too if it's bundles or trade mail.
Yep.
And are they already palletized? Because in our software, if it's palletized, we're not allowed to just break what you've created, the presort, right? So you'd have to make sure that if you're removing pieces because they're in a bundle, or if they're in, you're removing a tray, then they'd have to be, not palletized.
You
Yeah,
should
'cause
be
it's-
able to do it with
bundles.
trays.
Yeah,
She says
bundles.
these
I
are
don't.
bundles.
Well, and she says you can't do it with trays too.
She just
Yeah.
added, another comment.
Can't do either bundles or trays.
Yeah, because flats with bundles, I don't even think
Yeah.
post presort.
It's considered a
that.
container, so it's not something that we can necessarily break, right? Because it's already in a bundle. But with trays, you should be able to do are you, let me see.
Claudia, did you
This wasn't-
you
might need
had
to
a
look at it
support
more.
case?
That we could
You
look
did have
at.
a support case? We can follow up.
Yeah, she
Yes.
said that she said she had worked with support, but Claudia, we'll take note of your inquiry and we'll follow up with you individually,
Yep.
okay?
We could
I'll
kind of
take
do it
down
as
your
an
information.
escalation. Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No more bundling with USPS marketing mail flats. Yeah, Kevin Markle just chimed in. He's from our support team. Okay, any other questions before we break? We're hitting it, we've been on for just under an hour. And I want to give everybody a last minute opportunity to put in some questions here. We've got Letty, Mary, and Rob, who are quite technical with regard to DAT-MAIL. So if you have any questions regarding specific scenarios, we'd love to help you out. All right. While that is going on, I'm going to take over while we're waiting to see if anybody else wants to put any questions in last minute. I just want to take a couple minutes, and I'd like to just recognize our gold sponsors who've helped make Information Exchange 2026 possible: Solomar Systems and Direct Logistics. Great partners of ours, very collaborative. We have direct interfaces with them. In fact, Mary Bush will be on a co-presentation tomorrow with Direct Logistics at 1 o'clock. So please circle back to tomorrow's session and join us for that as well. That one is going to be presented by Direct Logistics. So please come and join us. For those who have been with us for the last 3 sessions so far, now 4, we are offering 3 more days worth of sessions, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday this week. I'm sorry, tomorrow, Thursday, and Friday this week, covering a lot of different topics. So if you I know a lot of people signed up for an all access ticket. Definitely take advantage of it and join us, because we're going to have some technical people on quite a few of these sessions that are ready to answer your questions on those as well. Okay. I don't see any more questions have been submitted. So Letty, Rob, Mary, do you have any final words before we let our wonderful friends free for the day?
I was just going to add that if there's something that we touched on that you need more information on, or perhaps a little more training, hand-holding, definitely reach out to your account managers, or submit a support case, and let's see if we can't get you that help that you need.
Definitely. And Letty is on our professional services team as well, and works diligently to help customers troubleshoot larger specific scenarios with their environment.
Yes.
So if it goes beyond a particular support case or particular support request, that's where professional services can jump in and help you out.
Exactly. Yep. We're here to help.
All right. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, Rob, Mary, and Letty, for your expertise, your knowledge. This is your bread and butter, and I appreciate your time very, very much. If anyone has any follow-up questions, any attendees today have any follow-up questions, please, you know how to reach us, and we'll help you out. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate your time.
Yep,
Thank
later.
you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.